Hi, welcome to the Commercial Gas Engineer channel. I want to share with you the highest earners in their different trades in the United Kingdom and what courses they have to go on in order to earn the stated amount. First of all, starting off with water technicians. Water technicians don't need necessarily any plumbing qualifications at all, but often health and safety courses such as a Legionella course, and they tend to carry out tap flushing and water temperature checks at sites, chlorify checks, and so on. And they can earn around the 32k mark, sometimes even more, depending on how good they are and where they're based. Next, you have fabric engineers, and it's an interesting name. I don't know if it's used globally, but I do know in the UK it's one I've recently heard over the last few years. It took me a while to work out what it was, but I've found out that most fabric engineers tend to be carpenters, plasterers, or locksmiths or something of that nature. I'll show you some of the cost of the courses that these engineers carry out, starting from about 1,500 to probably just over the £2,000 mark once you include VAT and depending on where you go. So there are fast track courses and also ones that take a bit longer where you get more guidance. So if you've got experience doing carpentry, it's probably best to do a fast track course. But if you don't have any experience, then possibly it's best to go on a course where they're going to walk you more through step by step. Okay, the next trade, which I would do if I could go back in time, this is the one I would have done first. Instead of doing my plumbing, I would have gone straight in becoming an air conditioning engineer, because I believe that the money spent on a course, if you can get a course for quite a good price with the F gas qualification category 1, which is all the main areas that you need in order to work on refrigerant, the pay is excellent for the money spent. So if I could go back in time, I would have done that. I've got my F gas qualification, but what you can unlock with it, and with a little bit of experience with an engineer who's been in the field for a while, is exceptional. So you can make up to 40,000 in basic. So think about it. What if you do some call out, you could really be raking it in. So I recently went on a course with Ellis Training and they were very good. Highly recommend them. And the course was quite reasonable in price compared to many other training centers. I thought the training, the practical and the theory was very, very good and intense and packed into those 5 days. It was a very good course, and there are other places, but it's almost double in price. It's money well spent, and then all you need is a little bit of experience, like I said earlier, on site, maybe a week or two, depending on how quick you pick things up, and then you can command quite a good salary. Okay, the next profession is painter decorator. So they can earn approximately 36k a year, sometimes a bit lower, and maybe even a bit higher depending on where they're working. So these are all employed jobs I'm talking about, not self-employed. Self-employed, sometimes if you have the clients, you can obviously earn more, but these are employed jobs. Next trade, and the one I started off with, is plumber. So plumbers can earn anything from 32k in the United Kingdom, even 40k, and even probably over 40k, depending on whether you're a commercial plumber or if you're self-employed or employed for a company. So it is a good trade and it branches out into different areas, but it can cost a lot to train as a plumber. It can cost you 2,500 minimum, depending on where you go, and that's just level 2. So you still need to pay a bit more and go to level 3, hopefully, because level 2 only gets you to a level where you need to still be supervised, whereas level 3 is different. And then also your MVQ is even better to get as well, which shows that you have actual on-site experience. Another trade which I would have done if I could have started again was I would have done air conditioning. I would have got my F-gas course, should I say, and then I would have gone into becoming a domestic engineer straight away. I did become a domestic gas engineer after becoming a plumber, which was okay, an okay route. But nonetheless, and some places will prefer you, or training centers will prefer you doing plumbing first, then gas. Because it's a really good stepping stone. But there are ways of just getting straight into domestic gas in the United Kingdom. The pay is around 45. I think that's pretty accurate, depending where you're based in the UK. And it is a good job. Can cost 4,500 and upwards. It's very popular. There's a strong demand for it. Depends where you go though. but you can earn the money back. Yet, as an AC engineer, I think you would get your money pretty easier in terms of if you just do a basic F-gas course and learn via YouTube or via somebody else how to do your trade. So gas is okay to go into, but I would only go into it if I could make the step to becoming commercial. I think is a good investment. I find it hard to believe in the United Kingdom that domestic engineers do not take the step up to become commercial. I find it mind-boggling because some training centres only want as little as 1,000. The typical price is 2,000 in London to be trained to become a commercial engineer from a domestic, from at least £2,000. But there are some training centres that will only charge you as little as £900. Being an electrician is quite difficult. I've studied plumbing, I've studied gas, I've studied air conditioning, and I do think being an electrician is pretty tricky in terms of how much pay you can get once you're an electrician, and also how many other add-ons in the UK you need, because you don't just need your level 2 electric, you need your level 3 electric, and then when you finish that you need 18th edition, which is the regulations, and then on top of that you could also get testing and inspection if you want. But nonetheless, it's a lot of money, and then you've got your AM2 that you have to do. It just goes on and on. Being an electrician is good to an extent, but if I was going to go through all of that, I'd have to be self-employed in order to get my investment back. To become an electrician costs approximately 2,500 just for the level 2, just to start. So it can cost just under 3 grand for you to do a basic level 2 electrician's course. So if I could turn back the hand of time, I would have become an AC engineer first. Then I would have gone and become a domestic gas engineer. On top of that, I would have become a commercial engineer. Then I possibly would have done some BMS training. Or to go the other way around, instead of doing the AC first, I would have probably started out as just done a basic level 2 electric course. Then I would have gone and done some BMS training and got some experience. I don't know how this course is. I'm in Oxbridge. I haven't gone on it, but I may attend it one day. It's an evening course and it's mainly on the software training, and the cost is quite reasonable. Now, the hardware side of knowledge, this course here isn't accredited, but nonetheless, it is in Chelmsford in the UK, and it's a 3-day BMS course, and it's more on the wiring side. This is also another course I haven't gone on, but nonetheless, it may be good for one to at least have a qualification. So if you were like an electrician and you wanted to go more into controls, this may be a good course, unless you can actually get access to plant rooms and assistance from other engineers mentoring you. Another trade is being a roofer. I mean, being a roofer for a company is probably not a good idea if you want to make money, but working self-employed as a roofer, you must be able to make a killing, because the prices I've heard roofers charging well into the thousands all the time seems quite lucrative. I don't know how much it costs to train to be a roofer. I've done some roofing work in the past when I was training to be a plumber, because the two used to go hand in hand. But nonetheless, it seems like a good trade to get into. Last but not least, bricklayers, I hear, make good money. They can make about 35,000 or so working for a company, but working self-employed, I heard they can also make a killing like roofers. A basic bricklaying course can set you back at least £1,500. That's just for the level 2. So I can imagine that just costing just under the 4 grand mark maybe to do your level 2 and 3, depending on where you do it. Until next time, bye bye bye.